Soon as it goes dark anyway. Got these big skylights that let in all the light. And I don't like it, guys. I don't like it. So, let me tell you what I've done today. Welcome, I'm Josh. Welcome to Paint with Josh. This is going to be so much fun, you guys. You're going to need a big old bowl because we're going to do a big portal painting. You can see my little indicators over here. I'll tell you what I've done. So, I have a 24 by 30 inch canvas, right? 24 by 30. And then I covered the entire canvas in Liquitex black gesso, let it dry completely. When it came time to paint this painting, I covered it in our Bob Ross liquid clear, and then I marked out where I wanted my big portal to be, and now I've put all my undercolors around, from Prussian blue to phthalo blue to Indian yellow to sap green to phthalo green, all over the place. Then I made a little waterfall and a little river with my phthalo green and phthalo blue, and then a little waterfall back here, and then we have our colors underneath all laid out for an ocean scene. So, this one could be really cool, or you never know, it could be a giant old flopperooski, right? So we're about to find out right here as we paint it live in front of your eyes for the very first time. Now, when we're doing portal paintings, we want to have our stuff close by, right? So let's get our paint and our palette very close to us, and then we're going to need our 2-inch brush as well. All right, put that right down here. Because once you put your palette up there, or your portal up there, you don't want to move it, right? This is a big old bowl. It's an 18-inch mixing bowl. You could fillet or bread a filleted piece of salmon over here. You know what I mean? Right there. That's exactly where I want it to be, where I had it measured out. So it's 2.5 inches on one side, 2.5 inches on the other side, and an inch on the top, leaving us a lot of room to play with our seascape on the bottom. Now you can see if you don't push into the canvas hard enough, that guy's gonna slip on us. It's also why once we get the paint up there, we don't want to have to take it off and then put it back up, right? Let's do it all right here in front of your very eyes. Are you ready? Let's see if I can get way the heck over here first. Grab into this color and just start depositing the white as we go around. Now, wherever we interact with our other colors, it will change and turn on us. Right down there. Right over here. We don't need to go much lower than that, I would imagine. Same thing on our other side, down to about there. Just right. Right? Now we're going to take our bowl. Actually, let's leave that bowl up there. Don't you move on me, you little sucker. Get up there. There we go. Now, have our 2-inch brush handy because we're going to need to extend this paint out and away from our eclipse. Right? Get up there. The more paint that you have out there, meaning the more white that was on your brush, the more of a aura you'll have around your eclipse. It's gonna be awesome. Bang, just like that. Got over here on this side, just like that. You ready to see it? You gotta type in the words "I'm ready" if you're ready to see it. You got sap green, Indian yellow, sap green, phthalo blue, phthalo green, sap green, Indian yellow, all the way around. Are you ready to see it? You gotta type in the words "I'm ready." And then we'll pull it away. 1, 2. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my. I love these big old bowls, you guys. It's a big old bowl. We came down a little bit too far on this one, but it's all good. We have all that dark undercolor under there that we can mix it away with. And that's going to be just fine. Okay? Now, let's get out here. We can even take that same brush that we use to make our portal, right? And we'll get this white paint that's on the edges. Let's say we had a little puff right out there. Just like a little moonlight in the night, you guys. Mix it a little bit harder than we normally would with a cloud. Right, so push it around, extend it, let it grow outwards. Just a little aura back there. And then we'll grab our filbert brush, of course. Right, show you how we load these guys. Just pick a side, right? I got like that side. Let's pick one side of the brush. We'll load our paint. Pulling straight down, just like that. So it's on the one side. Okay, we'll take that one side, not the back side, just the front side. Come up here, find our brightest part of our little mushed out area. Put the brush down, and then spin it into a circle. Just like that, without moving from the center, if possible. And you're going to keep a nicer circle around your edge. Bang, just like that. Boom, guys, it's fabulous. Why do we got that little... Hang on. We got to get back in there. And it takes some practice. And if you let your brush slip and make your circle wider, then you got to make it bigger all the way around, right? Very cool. Soften the inside. The harder you push, the more it wants to take away the paint from the inside. So, very simple, little easy technique on how to paint a moon. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, let's get out here. Let's grab a little bit of our paint. You guys got to check in. You got to tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? A little bit of paint. Wipe it off down underneath, right? You don't need to have too much paint. Just wipe it off right down there. Just like that, right? It's fabulous. Now, take that paint. Let's come in here and let's rock it. Almost up and touching our bright area. We want to keep a little change, a little difference back in there. A little separation. Just a small little guy. We can dab off our brush anytime you hear this noise. That's me dabbing off the brush on a paper towel to remove the excess paint, right? We don't need too much paint. Now, let's get up here and start mixing it down. Let's actually use clockwise strokes. All right, clockwise, little guys. Just working. See how we jump and move to a different place? And then you can go back. Say we went back the other way. Right? Just counterclockwise now. Plopping a little bit of brightness in there. That's all you really have to do. Make sure you don't go outside of your portals until we get to the front, guys. Don't do it. Now, let's just say, perhaps, again, wipe it off down here. So you have this little, you know, kind of a pile down here where you can wipe your brush off, right? Anybody? It's hysterical. All right. Oh, man. I just cracked myself up. Watching from Nevada, from upstate New York, from Cali. You guys are amazing, quite literally. Look at what we've done in just 6 minutes, right? Again, let's pull the paint down. Wipe it off in our little section down here. And then we'll come out over the edge. I'm sorry, I'm just making myself laugh over something else. Okay, seriously. Over to the side and down very lightly, right? Whatever happens, it's going to pick up the colors that are underneath. So if we have a bit of our phthalo green or a bit of our phthalo blue, then all of a sudden, bang, we make this little waterfall falling out of the sky, right? Falls down, bang. We know if all that water is going to come down, we know it's going to leave a little bit of a misty, hazy little thing back there. So you catch it, right? Come up with our brush, mix it just like we do with our clouds, and then we get to decide how bright or, you know, how vibrant in color we want it. Do we want to come back in and add some more? Just a little touch, just to brighten it. Remember, it's going to grow, and based on how we can drag it, it's going to grow very cool like that. Very cool, guys. Soften it just a little. Okay, where are you guys watching from out there? What's your favorite sandwich, guys? Literally, you know why I'm laughing? Why am I laughing? Who knows why we're laughing? Nobody knows. North Carolina, we got Houston, Rhode Island, guys. Rhode Island, way over there where the Griffins live. Peter and Lois, Stewie, Meg, Brian, Chris, you know, all the Griffins over there. Okay. I know I'm going to get a little bit more of my paint, right? We're going to pull it down like this, wipe off the excess on our little pile over here, and then we're going to start. I can't even keep a straight face while I'm doing it. Honestly. Seriously. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Watching from all over the place. You guys. That's hysterical. Okay. Give it the right shape. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got a little bit of paint on the thing. I can't. I seriously can't. Oh, it's too funny. Okay, we're gonna go very, very lightly to the side. Just back and forth. Just about as soft as you can make it. Very, very light, very small amount of paint back there, right? Little things. Little things. Now, let's get to the end. Not so little. Get to the end. Come over here. Drop off. Drop off. Drop off, right? We don't want to go down too far. We can also go straight down and then come off at this side. All depends on how your little guy looks, right? Gotta make it bright enough, though. Right there in the front. Maybe a little bit extra paint onto the brush. Bang, right there. Over, down, over, down, over, down. We don't want it to be too crazily bright. Take these guys in the middle and just seriously give them a little swipe over to the side. Literally. Now you got your water rolling out in the night. You guys. I think that's going to be just about right. Let's toss a little bit of this guy catch your waterfall. Don't go all the way underneath. Go up into that waterfall and give it a little puff. A little bit of a, right? I can't even look down at my palette without laughing. Over here, over there, mix it out. That's gonna be cool. Right at the bottom of our little thing, happening all the way back in the night. Take a little bit more of this brightness, work it down just a bit closer down on top of that stuff. Guys, is that not fantastic? That is fantastic, if you ask me. Just a little funny, a little fabulous. Look at that. Right? It's rolling down, about to interact with all the rest of the stuff. Thank you guys for following. I love you. I love you. Savage beast. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Okay. Now, first thing we're going to have to do is get up into our sky up here and kind of block where this water thing, throw some land out here, right? Now, in order to do that, we need to mix up our palette. So our paint Majage plaque color. I can't even keep a straight face. There we go. Paint Majage plaque. We're going to mix it up into this little pile right over here. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, right? Fabulous. Lots of it. Lots of darkness. Okay, we'll take that darkness and we're going to wiggle our brush down through it just like this. Wiggling it down, loading a lot of color onto the brush. And let's grab just a little flick of that white right there, just a little bit. There we go. See, it kind of lightens up that color, makes it not so dark. Wiggling, 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 turning the brush over each time, right? So you get that little color out there in the night. Now, let's say we had a couple little trees out here, right? We need to retain our spiky tops of those trees. They don't really have to stand out too much back there. We don't really want a whole lot of stuff standing out back here. All right, come up, give it a little sharp tip top, give it a couple little things off of each edge, and you got yourself a little tree back there in the night. I'm telling you, you don't have to do too much. Pop it down, pop it down, pop it down. Now, we're gonna leave that excess paint in here, right up on next to our little waterfall. Leave the excess paint at the bottom, take that same color on the same brush, right, wiggle it down through that plaque. Down here, let's cut right through that brightness, right, kind of cutting across and in front of where the river comes out of, so you can't see it out there in the night, right? Remember, we don't want to go outside of our portal, so stay inside your portal. And we're going to take our 2-inch brush, drag it up, drag it up, drag it up, give it a couple little flicks out into the night, right? It helps flatten the paint. There's a lot of things that it does, it helps with, right? We'll come in here and we'll start bashing it all in that thick craziness, and what it's going to do is make a lot of mist. It may not be as bright as this mist, but it will start making mist. The mistiness is key. The mistiness is everything. All right, you have to have that misty aura about it. Bang, bang, bang. Little things, guys. Oh, fantastic. Just excellent. Now, let's say all this mist climbed up into these trees. All right, it doesn't all have to come specifically from the waterfall, but if we put a little bit of color out there, we can get a lot of that color to spread. The further away it spreads from our little guy, the more it's going to intermix with those colors. It's going to feed off into the night. And see how there's a difference because there's more paint right in there? We're pushing on this a lot harder. We're not trying to make it a cloud. We're trying to make it soft. It spreads out in the night. Now that we have all this brightness right here, let's come in and add a bit of darkness, right? So we're going to take more of the dark paint, less of that lighter color, more of the original black mix. Put that onto our brush. We know we're going to have something happening out here, so we could do something there. Let's put a few more of these little background-y guys, right? Just like this. Canvas is very bouncy. There we go. Bringing them down into the mist. Their darker color is going to indicate that they're closer to us than everything else off in the distance, right? And we have these little guys and they come down. They're living out here. We want these things to be indistinct and far away. That's why we're not really focusing on too much craziness, right? See that mist in between? Help spread it apart, guys. Over here, lightly, dragging it up. We do the same things over and over and over again. So it's hard to forget, right? We do it like that because I want you to be able to do it over and over on any painting that you try, right? You get to do that on. Now, let's take that white. We'll come back in here, right? Say we had our little thing that's flowing through this bit of forest now. Wherever it wants to go, guys. It's totally up to us, right? However we want it to look. Blend it, blend it, blend it. Leaving our dark separator. Taking it up into the trees, pushing it a little harder, right? How do you want it to look? Gonna look however you like it. And that is pretty cool. Just if you're asking me, a little bit of my white paint. Pull it down like this. Let's go over this guy again. There we go. Just to have a little bit of brightness coming out. Bang, falling down. From where? Who knows? Mix it up so it's a little softer, and then very lightly mix it down into here. That way we got a couple little details in the night, my friends. Bang, just like that. Fabulous. Okay. Again, we don't need it to be too bright, and the more bright that we add, the more we have to make everything else bright. So, don't do too much. Okay? Now, there's a bit of distance in between our river and our mist and our forest, which is in the background, right? And all these things happening out there, guys. Quite literally, whatever we want to do, we can do. Let's give this guy just a few little bits of branchies or something. Just an indication like, hey, I'm the big dog out there in the night, right? Wherever we want it to be. It's exactly where it gets to be. Very lightly as you go over those guys because there's much more texture and paint in there. Right? Fabulous, friends. Isn't that looking great? Now, let's get over here and we'll grab our 1-inch brush. And we're going to go into our cad yellow first. And then into our sap green. I love mixing these two colors when we're talking about making grass or a highlight for your foliage or whatever, man. I'm just going to put it on the one side of the brush and that'll force me to go back if I need more, right? This canvas is very bouncy. Come in here, tap, and a little line out into the night. All right, come underneath it, another little line. Come underneath it, another little line, another little line, another little line. How many little things can we do before we start dropping off all the paint and we can no longer see what's going on back there, right? Because that's all it's about. What do we want to see? How do we want to see it? How bright? How vibrant? How close? All right, a little dark separator back there. Just a little old guy. The more we do, the more we're going to be able to see, right? We don't want to see everything, so let's tap at it, make it a little softer, a little softer, a little softer, a little bit more indistinct, right? You can't really tell what's going on back there now. Oh, that's fabulous. That's fantastic. Now, let's grab a little bit of that same thing, yellow, onto the brush, down like that. A little bit of our sappy green, and then we're going to tap up into the bristles, just like that, pushing it, right? That'll make little flat ridges on your brush, and then perhaps with our bouncy canvas, we can come over here. We roll down just a couple little bits of our grass. Pop, 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 right? Maybe it rolls down here and starts coming up the other way. Just because we thought we wanted it to. How does your grass look, guys? It's totally up to you. You can do whatever you want to do each time that you go to do it. Right? It's all up to you. Say we got this guy down here. Let's not make it too bright. There we go. And the more bright that we put, the more we've got to go over it so it softens itself down. Of course, you want to have some bright areas. Right? A couple little places in the night. But little things, little things, little things. Feeding it back, getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Right? Coming off that same line, though. Seriously, can you do it better than that? I don't think so, Josh. Come out here underneath my moon. I'm going to put a little bit of bright. Shining happening over here. A bit darker as it goes away, right? So without adding any brush or any paint, we'll just kind of tap at it, get less and less pressure, less contact, right? Make it darker and darker and darker. Dang, that looks cool. That looks cool. Remember, don't go outside of your portal. Don't you do it. The only thing that gets to come out of the portal is the water itself. Man, do you see? Do you see? Because that is gorgeous. Holy cow. Okay. I like it. Well, I don't know about you guys. I like it. And that is the only opinion I care about, right? Is if I like it. You may not have somebody out there telling you, yeah, no, it looks good, or it doesn't look good. So it's up to you to decide what looks good, where it looks good, where you want your light and your shadow game to play, right? All up to us. Bring it right down onto the water. Leave that little dark separation in there, I'm telling you. Oh, man. Let's come up above the water with this guy. Again. Just filling in our little triangle. Oh, right? Fantastic. Okay, guys. That is fire. Just if you're asking me. Just want a little bit indication right down close to wherever I'm going to have my water. Okay? Now, this is where we're going to switch to our palette knife. Okay? This whole guy over here is going to spill out of our portal, and you might want to, yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, I figured we wouldn't do it perfectly on the first go, guys, so let's try to line up our portal again, right? Because there's nothing really thick that's going towards the edge, you can literally cover it up. This will be a cool video, too. You can cover it up, finish the spot over here just a little bit lower, just like that. Grab our 2-incher, spread it, boom, 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 right? A little bit of craziness, guys. Just a little bit. I'll put some more of my Indian yellow in there, and then one little pop. There we go. Just to help that blend. There we go. Okay, now, ready for this video? Are you ready to see it? You gotta say, I'm ready, right? And then we'll show it to you. Do you wanna see it in 3, 2, 1? Oh, it's so much cooler when there's something inside, isn't it? Very neat. Now we're about equal down here. Our little equal attention cake. There we go. That's exactly where I want to have it, right there. So let's take our palette knife, because it's the thinnest, sharpest bristle we could possibly do. And let's bring it right below our guy right there. One line right here. At least I can see where my horizon has to spill now. Now, if I get a little touch of this paint, right, and we start making little bits, start rolling out, it's going to go from a river and turn into an ocean scene. Right, that's our goal anyway. Just streak it off. Yes! It's going to look exactly like I want it to. Literally growing like our portal moon or eclipse is behind it and rising up out of the water. So these are bang, just like that. Little things, right? Because this guy from back here is going to spill forward, and then finally come out of the portal at a certain point. You know what I mean? It's only when it gets way up there to the edge, right there. Spill it out, and it'll run down into our seascape, which will be over here. Hey. Oh, guys, that's gonna be cool. Okay, let's not go too wild back here, right? Go too wild and lose too much of our room, which is what we don't want to do. Okay, what we are gonna do though is bring our right-hand side just a little lower than our left-hand side. Just gonna skirt it, just a little bit. It's just gonna help, right? There. Oh, look at all those dark areas too. All these dark spaces look like rocks or a little level or something maybe rolled down. All right, little thing. Just pulling straight down on some of those guys just to have a couple little lips of water. Okay. Now we're gonna get out here into our ocean scene, you guys. I'm gonna take just a little thing, a little bit of paint on my knife. We're gonna go up and over, and cut right up into it again. Right? However you want your waves to look, they got to get lower and lower as they go over to the side. It just has to happen. It's got to be that way. Right? This guy, maybe it got up and over. Right? All we're going to have to do is then pull and shoot down little bits of our wave crashing over the edge of this guy. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Our wavy canvas does not want to play ball with us today. There we go. Right? How far do we want this little wave to come rolling over? All up to us. Scrape away what we don't want, right? Just lifting a little bit up into that last bit of line in our horizon. has given us some depth in the water, right? Scrape it, scrape it. Not everywhere it has to be fully covered, right? Just like that, guys, quite literally, and we're gonna start seeing other colors now because we have our different undercolors over here. Let's start turning this guy upwards. There we go. Fill in that last little space with just a small bit of any amount of color, right? Just any amount of color. Doesn't have to be pure white or anything. There we go. A little bit of my waves rolling over. Oh man, that's cool. I like it. I like that, guys. We're gonna need to put in our eye of our wave. Course back there. There we go. Right in there. A little bit of brightness again. Doesn't have to be as bright as you think. A little bit's going to go a long way. Very cool. Okay, now let's take one of our little fan brushes. Let's get right up underneath this guy. A little bit of color. You don't need to have much. A little bit up there. You can even take your Paint with Josh brush and mix it down. Nice and soft. Getting right up underneath that guy though. We don't need everything to be so bright, right? But you do need an area that's brighter right up underneath the eye. The transparent part of the wave where it gets very thin and starts to reveal the light coming from behind it, right? Oh, God, that's cool. That's cool, guys. Now, if we have our brush over here, all right, we're going to have these little guys, little bits of color streaking back, and you can see we're going to work at this very slight downward angle. So it'll be higher on this side, lower on that side. Oh, that's cool, dude. That is cool. I don't want to put on too much paint. Just to show you, we can whip up underneath these guys. Right? Showing all of that stuff happening. Oh, God, that's cool. That's cool right there. A little bit of my titanium white. You can give yourself little highlights and stuff where your foam might be streaking back across that water and rolling itself up into the night, which is always fun. All right, let's drop down a little bit. You can get all sorts of crazy, all sorts, right? If you kept going along the same angle and you didn't drop very far, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for you, okay? So come down, right? Start turning our brush, there we go. A little bit rounder down here. And you can see that'll give us more room to then push that paint up into. Same thing, you don't have to do it with your palette knife if you don't want to. Right? All we're doing is painting that little bit of our foaminess that rides on top of our invisible water. Right? The water is basically invisible out there. It's black. You can't see it. It's nighttime, right? We're not gonna be able to see every single thing. Bits, little bits, little bits. If they were too sharp, back in there, jack it up a little bit. Bang, right? Just mess with it. Now, you can do it either of those two ways, right? Where then you can come back in if you didn't like these little guys and soften them down. Soften it, get flatter and flatter and flatter as we go over to this side, right? These guys are going to grab up and they're going to kind of match into. I'm trying to call me in the middle of a stream. Thanks, Mom. I'm trying to work, Ma. There we go. A little bit of brightness. Remember, we're not trying to cover every single piece of that darkness. Just enough. Streak it back, right? Let those little things grow and extend. We just don't want them to get so bright that we can't make them brighter. You always want to be able to make it a little bit brighter. If you can't get it brighter, and you're going to have to add more and more and more white, and that's just going to piss you off. It's just not fun. There we go. Right, get in there. If you need to, you can go back in with your 1-inch and soften it. All depends on you guys. Do you want it really textured and really crazy, or do you want it nice and soft? Right? Come back, slide it out. Those little things out there in the night. That's starting to look really cool, guys. Really cool, if you ask me. Man, this one's still there, huh? All right. Yes! Golly, that looks so neat. So neat. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of my titanium white. Let's wiggle down, kind of turn the blade of the knife, right, on an angle so we can drop off that little ridge of water. That's all we want to do. A little titanium white, lots of pressure. There we go, until we can get that little ridge to fall off right down there at the bottom, right? Very cool. The more that you do, the brighter it's all going to get. So try to get it done in less attempts, right? Less attempts, lots of pressure. Just like that, out there, little bits of brightness on the edge of our water, little bits of foaminess, right? We can decide how bright we want them to be, whether we take them back like this, dropping off little pieces of our white or not. All depends, up to you, right? It's literally up to you, however you want to do it. Now, let's get a little liquid white underneath this guy, right? So we'll scoop up just an intense, just an intense amount of liquid white. You can see why they call it liquid white, because it's very runny, right? We'll mix that in with our titanium white. Remember, you can get Paint with Josh palettes on my website if you like a palette, or if you're looking for an alternative to the big old Bob Ross palette. Mine is the same size, it's just none of the profits go to the Kowalski family. So that is another thing. Look at that, right? A little bit of our liquid white plus a small amount of our titanium white. Doesn't have to be all liquid white, but you need it up in there, right? Very heavily, like it's gonna drip down. Ooh, we lost a bit. Gonna drip down just like that, right? Because that's how wet this stuff has to be. And then we're gonna take our brush and extend it into the night, right? So grab a 2-inch brush. Remember, whatever colors you have underneath are going to be the colors that ignite. All right, drag it, drag it, drag it, pull it down. Try not to touch our other bit of our water. Streak it, streak it, streak it down. How far? Totally up to you. Hey, doesn't that look like sand? Be honest. You guys can be honest. You can tell me. Does it look like sand? Yes or no? All right. Do you think? Not does your grandma think. Not does your husband think. Your girlfriend think. Who do you think it looks like sand? You tell us. Looks like a waterfall. I feel you. No. Okay. I feel it. I feel it. All right. Let's do this. Let's take all of those vertical streaks and let's turn them into horizontal streaks. All right. And then let's see how this sand starts looking, right? All you gotta do, lots of pressure, turn all those horizontally streaks, vertical streaks into horizontally streaks, and now doesn't that look a lot more like wet, shiny, sandy beach than it did before? Isn't that fantastic? That's better, they say. That's better, right? Now, we have to take our liquid white and our titanium white, gotta mix them together. You don't want one over the other, a little bit of each, just enough so it's kind of chunky, kind of wet. That's what we want, just like that, right? Let's get out here and try to shrink our dark separator. Now with the liquid white, it'll make that ridge a lot easier on your knife, right? But it also comes much more difficult to handle when you're doing it like that. And so little things, streaking back, little details, little highlights, little wherever, bits that are coming off the top of our water. And they don't all have to be bright, right? That's our #1 rule. Nothing out there has to be exactly the same, or the same amount of brightness or darkness or whatever. It's all up to us every time that we go to do it. Do it a little different. Come out here, scrape this guy up, bring it down right over the darkness, the dark separator. All right, come back in here, and now we'll feed this until it feeds into the wave behind, leaving a little bit of brightness on the front. All right, a little bit of stuff out there. Fabulous. Cool, you guys. I like it. Look at that tealy, sandy color. It's amazing. It is amazing. Spectacular. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Sand and the reflection. I like it. I like it. Thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate you. Let's see. Come down here. Zip. A couple little things. Every so often, I got to go back and change just a few little things. Just for my own head. You know what I mean? Like right here, it's too much of a dark separator in between. So I've got to get in there and shrink it down so it's much smaller. Right? You get less of a little shadow underneath there if you can shrink that sucker down. Now, let's do our sandy beach, or our kind of foamy sea foam retraction, we'll call it. A little bit more of our liquid white. Lots of it, right? Lots of liquid white in with that titanium white. A little bit more, because we've got to have enough. There we go. Ooh, it's nasty. Okay, again, come out here. Lots of pressure. Don't pick up the knife. You got to have enough on the end, right? See it out there on the edge? So when we scrape across, it comes off like that. That's how much you got to have on there. And then it's full pressure onto the canvas until it disappears. All right, scoop up a little bit more, come back, do a little bit more, full pressure until it disappears. Okay, same thing. However much is on your knife, you might be able to get it to stretch a little bit further, or not be able to go as far if you don't have enough. Down there. Oh, guys. Oh, put a little bit of it right up here, right? You want to know why? I'll show you. Because here, we're going to start taking these guys, sliding them back just a little bit. Not everyone has to go the same amount either. Right? Some will go far, some will go a little bit. And this is why you have that stuff up on the side, so you can drag it off. Make a really, oh man, a really cool thing. Look at this guy. All right, little bits of water, and then you can even streak off very lightly any little bits of diamonds, we call it, that come off the back of the knife as you're depositing backwards. And just make them look cool. This makes it look cool. You can always go back in and flick little spray bits in there too. Little spray bits for yourself. All right, underneath. Just making it round looking. That little lip on the front is all you need, guys. It's all you need. A little bit, streaking it back. All right, if you can't do it off your knife, you can always spray them in with your brush, which is what we like to do anyway. If you ever get something that's too big, scrape at it. Scrape at it until it departs, you guys. You guys! A little bit more of my titanium white with the liquid white, just so we can have some form of kind of texturous stuff back here. You guys know me. I like having little bits, and sometimes we do really rough ones. Sometimes we do them very soft. Right? This guy just feels like it needs to be rougher, right? Just for my own brain, following along my predetermined lines, right? I've already said, okay, I want to have the wave going this way, right? So we need to get in there and add that mess at the bottom, going up those same directions that we had it before. Right? Just following our little guideline. You want to scrape up into our little thing just a little bit. Make sure you don't have too much paint on your knife if you go to do it. I'm telling you. Now, let's say we came off of our moon. Let's get down here, a little bit of liquid white and titanium white so it'll come off of the knife easier. Right, let's say we had a little sparkle. Just a bit of brightness. It's starting to get a bit brighter. And a bit brighter, and a bit brighter, and a bit brighter. Until we got right up here, close to us, right? Just kind of tapping at the canvas. Just like we do with our tree bark and stuff. We'll tap at it. We'll tap, we'll tap, we'll tap. Right? Once we can get that out there, little taps, leaving a little space in between. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But little spaces in between our taps. And then we'll get right up here. It's going to look like our moonlight is kissing our water as it's coming down. It's very cool. Very cool. All right, let's get over here. A little bit more of my titanium white just to have that little kiss of brightness right on the top of my wave. Very, very neat, you guys. Very, very neat. We want our little bright spots to be with this liquidy white. They can't all touch or they're not going to look right. Right? That's the whole thing. There we go. There we go. Got our bright underneath there. Let's make a little bright spot underneath the eye of our wave as well. That's fantastic. Guys, I like that. So you guys have to come up with a title for this painting. All right? Since we're doing them live, you got to give me a title right here live during the show. It's going to be awesome. Ooh, I like it. Let's shoot a couple more little dudes up here. This is when you gotta be careful because you can drop off a whole huge thing off the back of your knife and you might not like it. There we go. Little bits floating on the waves, man. I'm trying not to cover up all of my deep, darker under green that's under there as well. We don't need to cover all of that up. just want to have a couple of these little things floating across the top of the water. That's literally it. Right? A little bit brighter. You drop them off. And they start climbing up the edge. Maybe they break off, right? They never have to all just be the same exact shape or whatever. I just need them to be a bit brighter than the surrounding underwater, right? That's literally it. A little bit, straight, and we had a bit right here, just very lightly. There we go. A small amount of paint onto our brush, or knife, just so lightly. Right, straight back here, so we got our lines going one way, and then this guy, it's quite literally just riding down the wave. Very cool. Very cool. Get a little bit more. There we go. Now we can have all these little shiny little bits just right up into the eyeballs. Fabulous. Just got something right up into my eyeball, guys. Excellent. Okay, now we'll take our little our liner brush over here. A little bit of our odorless mineral spirits. I'm going to go into my blackish, bluish mix that we had over here, just to be able to drag back a couple little lines, little things, little dewars, through the eye of our wave. It's our foamy bits that don't get seen, right? Because they're up underneath that shadowy area. So, very cool. Very cool. You can do the same thing with your liquid white down from the bottom. It just never looks right to me. I always end up going back over it after we do the liquid white bits. They just look like too severe. So when you're coming up like this, you know what I mean? And then we end up going over them because of how they look. A couple little bits. There we go. Underneath. A couple of guys back here. Just making little circles. And only touching it in a certain spot. Whipping up our little fields. Oh! See how those guys are a bit further away? These guys are a little closer. Further away, closer. I like it. Okay, come up with a title, guys. What are we going to do for this old guy in the night? Alright, let's come in here and do this too. First thing, let's take our cloud right back down. Here we go. On top of our little water section back here, filling up little places. There we go. Little things as it's rolling out into the night. And lightly, very lightly. I don't want to do too much back there, right? Very cool. Very cool, guys. Zip, zip. Little things. Remember, let's see what we did with this guy. Hang on, is this one sold yet? Is this one sold? Or is it still available? Looks like it's shown it's still available, maybe. Okay, cool. Thank you, Cosmic. Let's come in here then. We're going to start just so softly. Just making a little bit of... There we go, right? Sometimes you got to do a mix of both. A little bit of your brush, a little bit of your palette knife, a little touch. Back over here. Push those guys just a little bit more so they're a little softer into the distance. Guys, that's cool. That's cool over there. Just if you're asking me, I'd say that's pretty neat, right? We could do lots more up here in the top as well. We could. Let's pop out. Let's just wait. Let's wait, because we could pop some other stuff up into here to hide some different things. But looking exactly how I thought it was going to look when we planned it out in our skull anyway. That is cool. Take away all that thick white right there. There we go. You shrink our little line down a little bit more. Neat, guys. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. Okay, let's see what we can do with this guy. I'm going to get a little touch of my liquid white. Just right up underneath our little friend here. All right, however we want it to be. I don't want to get it too bright though. There we go. Right up underneath our little guy. That way we have a little bit of that shine that we have on our sand down there. Right up into our eyeballs. And then we can fix it for you guys. All right, take this guy down like this, show you how. There we go. Got our sandy thing happening out here. Go back in with our titanium or our liquid white. Just connect onto our little guy. Right again. We've already set everything up to be perfect for that little friend. I like it. Okay. Now we'll go back and toss in our sandy specks with our liquid white. Just pure liquid white on the end of a little fan brush. I put it out here on the palette so we could come in and spray in little bits of water that are falling off or that have come down and hit or whatever, right? They're about to come down and hit. Man, this one might look cooler if we do like a, there we go. Just a little splashiness. Grab onto him, make it harder to see. There we are. That guy up a little bit. Very cool. Yes. Yes. Okay. A little bit of that. A little bit more of my liquid white. I'm going to come out here, spray in our little guy. So he's got a little bit of spray. This one hasn't fully come down yet. If we wanted our little diamonds into our sand, this is when we do it. Come out here and start flicking. A couple down in there, be our little seashells and stuff. And then these guys will be little reflections of our stars or whatever that are happening off of our thing. And by the way, gotta put some stars out in the sky. Gotta have some stars out around that galactic portal sky right there. That looks really cool, guys. I like it. Just if you're asking me, that's what I would tell you. I like it. Come down, the last little cleanup of our little edge, and that's it, guys. That's seriously it. You don't need to do much more than that. Bring it down on top of that bit of dark separator is all you have. All right, this guy is so far away we can't even barely see any details on him. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Somebody take it out of the store. Take it out, because if no one's gotten it by now, I want to keep it for myself, honestly. Hang it in the window of the store, dude. Look at it. Guys, you just can't beat it. We gotta adjust our angle down here. You see how you got it? Doesn't all have to be exact. Like, we can come out and then come back, but we want to have that angle in there for sure. Little liquid white, little titanium white. Mush back everything else. Right? It's all gonna disappear behind all of that stuff anyway. There we go. Hey, you guys, that is cool. I like that one, my friends. I like it. Okay, let's see what else we can do inside of this portal. Let's see if we can't get this painting to find a new home, maybe. We get a little of my black, a little crimson, a little blue. Toss it down in here into our plaque mix. Right? Little nuts. Down there. Whoop. A little of my liquid white in there. Now we gotta suffocate it. There we go. Nasty. All right, now what I want to do as well is take a little bit of my sap green and mix that right into that plaque color as well. All right, so it'll be like a clean, it's a greenish, purplish black. It's foul. Really foul. Okay, let's come over here and let's take, that's gonna be cool. Dude, okay, let's do it over here. Let's do these little guys, little plaque, a little bit of our sap green mixed together. Right, and let's say maybe out here we had a little tree, bang, come down and live right there. Tap on him, pushing in. The further we go down, the more we push into it. Right, so then you can start to angle it up and back, side to side, to get your little branches to come out however you want him. He's your tree. You can have him shaped however you see it. Right, look at that. Oh, guys, that's cool. How many more little trees do you want to do? It's all up to you. Let's do one back here, though. One more little guy. I mean, we could do it all the way down. We could pop a bush right there into that mist that would just project a bit more distance. Back here, we could say he lives right there in the mist, bang, right onto the edge of the grass. Again, very small little taps. The more we go in, the more we push. So you got more brush against the canvas. The more you go down, then you can start to angle it and rotate side to side, popping out little things here, there, wherever, right? And your tree can look however you want your tree to look. There is no specific shape or whatever, right? Very cool. It's a big old chunk of paint right up there on the top. And there we go. We want it texture, but maybe not that texture, Josh. Jeez. Jeez. Okay, now let's take our grassy brush, right? We'll go back to our green, our yellow and our sap green. Cat yellow, sap green. come in here, tapping, 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 just kind of seat his butt right in the grass, right? And a lot of times, as soon as you touch that plaque, you'll leave a bit of shadow underneath it as well, which is perfect. It doesn't all have to be the same. All right, kind of touch around the top, go down around the bottom, up around the top again. So you have this rounded feel to the tree, okay? If it's dark, where you want it to be light, a little bit more yellow. All right, and then tap it in, tap it in, tap it in. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. That yellow will mix down with that green so fast, you guys. Just so fast. That is fantastic. I am liking it. So, you guys can find this one if you go to paintwithjosh.com. It's over there. It's waiting for you. You just got to be the first one over there to get it. A little bit more of my grass down here. Keeping it nice and darker, right? It doesn't all have to be fully brightened up. This guy, yeah, let's go over the edge. Right, we need enough of our paint on the brush. So let's make sure that we get enough of this paint over here. A little bit of our green, right? Push it up into it like that. Out here on the side. Now let's dangle over. And if we can get a couple of these little guys just to dangle, right? It may look like something different or have our land change. It drops over there, but it's more smooth over on this side, right? How do you want it to look, guys? Seriously? Seriously? Okay, I want to do one massive sweater tree as well. And his roots are going to be growing down and maybe overhanging. We never know. We never know, but we're about to do it right here. A little bit of our plaque mix. Oh, it's going to be foul. Just foul. Actually, should we do it on this side? We could have it be... No, this side. That side's further away, right? So this side will be the closer side. Which means, oh, just do it. There's your bravery test right there. Bang, bang, bang. How big do we want this guy to be is the question. For me, if they're sitting up here in the front, then they really got to be fat in their trunks. You know what I mean? Really. And then launch out the plaque however you want it to be, right? But you have to have it dark. If you want to have roots, you got to have it be dark down here, okay? We can so try to hang one over the edge. Let's do it with the plaque first. We can root down something off of that side and then go back and cover him over with his little roots that are hanging, and they're going to grow out. Again, all we need is a little bit of darkness down there. That's literally it. And then we'll go back and brighten it up. Now that we've got our tree trunk, it's going all the way up out of the portal. All right. Now, we got to put some branchies off that old guy, which should look pretty cool, just if you're asking me. Take this guy and just mix it up a little bit. That way we can't see everything. There. I like it, guys. Okay, let's take our little liner brush. We'll go back in, grab a little bit of our odorless mineral spirits into the plaque mix, right? And then let's start popping some branches out into the colored areas, right? You want to, otherwise you're not going to notice your branch. If you're not going into an area of color, you will not even notice that it's there because this plaque mix is very dark, right? And our canvas is very dark. So, big old guy out that way. Maybe there's one down here shooting off the other direction, right? Whichever way that we want. Let's put some highlights on this guy before we go back and do too many little deals. Bang, little branch out the side, right? Not all of them have to grow down or necessarily out, right? You can have one go like that and it looks like it's poking out the other direction, right? All things we can do. Seriously. Okay, let's get our little fan brush and a little bit of our sap green / cad yellow mix over here. All right, we just want a very, very, very fine amount, little tiny little bit onto our brush because we don't want to necessarily put on too many highlights on these guys back there. If we highlight them too much, then they're going to look too close. So we're going, work from the light side of the tree to the dark side of the tree. And go back and kind of tap in a couple little bits, right? Little thing. Doesn't need to be too crazy or whatever. We're just using the one corner of the brush. We didn't even flip it to the other side, which means we could use this side. Tapping out on the left side now because our moon is right there. Right? And I'm hitting outside of the plaque. kind of creating a little bit of bright line around the outside. Now I'm hitting all this black paint. It's going to start to dull itself very quickly, right? And it starts to mix down and makes a darker sign on the back. Guys, freaking fantastic. Oh man. Woo! That's a fire color. Excellent. Now, back in with our very wet, odorless mineral spirits on our brush. Let's just come creeping off, cut right through that tree. Pushes in behind our bigger tree up here. And I think we'll be set to go on that guy. Clean off our little liner brush. Save it for when we sign the painting, right? And that's going to be the fun part. Go sign that old painting. Yes! This one's still available, huh? That hurts my heart, guys. Hurts my heart. Shit, if I had another device, I might be able to lower the price for you guys, but unluckily for me, we don't have that. Let me get a little bit of my grassy color. I'll work up just a little. All right, this guy. A little bit of grass down there, and then we'll have our roots kind of grow into that gracious color. That'd be very cool. Okay, now let's take a little fan brush. Always helps if you have a very thin, fine fan brush, right? So I'm going to take out the Paint with Josh fan brush number 4. Very small, very thin little fan brush with not a lot of bristles there. And what we're going to do is make our little sweatery tree moss with our same kind of green-yellow color we were going at before. But it's going to take a lot of liquid white and a lot of times, a lot of trips back and forth to load the brush up again. All right? We don't need a whole lot. We can't have it touching everywhere. Right? And by the time that we go 5, 6, 10 taps maybe, all of our brightness is now turned to darkness. You can see it. So, don't put on too much. Don't try to do too much at once. Right? Come in there, tap, 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 leaving little things in between. Right? Once we get down to our roots, you don't want to overdo it. Right? Down to our roots, we're going to go little taps, leaving some space. Little tap in there. Maybe we split right down in there. Right? Because you don't want them all to be exactly the same or going in the same direction or whatever. Little liquid white, little of our cad yellow. Let's say, there we go. I can start seeing some roots growing out over the grass now. Right? One of these guys has to be pretty straight down before you start going off the other way. Right? Now we got all these roots trying to grip and grow and get all crazy. Do you think we could, yes, launch one right down over the edge of the portal, you guys? That's fantastic. A little bit more of the cad yellow and the liquid white, right? Just cad yellow and liquid white. Because we've already got so much green up there, it's getting hard to see the differences between the stuff, right? So you got to have a little bit of your green down there, and then if you need to brighten it, go with your cad yellow and the liquid white because you've already got the green. You don't want to just do it straight off the bat with the green and not have, or with the yellow and not have the green down there yet. Little bits. Let's start climbing out. We can even cut across. Very small little fan brush can do that. Right? If your fan brush is too big, it may not do it well enough, or you might leave too big of a spotch. Right? Bang. Little bits, guys. Little bits. I'm telling you. Tap, 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 tap. Leaving little ridges in between because not everything has to be fully covered. We say that all the time. It doesn't have to be fully covered up. We don't have to do anything. Come out here with our liquid white, our cad yellow, and the sap green, and we're just going to pipe right on top. Right? Not trying to cover it. Just go on top of it. Bang. A little bit down here. Doesn't even all have to match. Leave some spaces in between. Right? Some bits. Some little different things that are in between there. You get a spot that's too bright, back over and tap on it, but don't try doing too much. Right? If you do too much, you're going to make mud, and it's going to be impossible to fix. Okay, so don't do too much. Move it out here, more of our yellow. Boom, boom, boom. Then we got this guy, and he's coming down. Turning, turning. Boop. A little bit. Little things, right? We don't need everything out there to be so stinking bright. A couple little places on our tree in the night. Start going down the backside with this green. Just the green, no yellow to it. Just a little bit of greenery, right? Out there, chilling. Just growing up this tree. Getting to hang out. Watch this portal sunrise every day. I kind of want to be this tree. There we go. Yeah. There. All right, little things. The more you do, the more you're going to dislike it. All right, so do little bits and don't do too much when it comes to that tree trunk for sure. All right, now let's make sure that we have a lot of that bright yellow right out on the edge. Right? So the edge of our tree, we just want to go across it and make sure that that's the front, right? We're catching that light. So make sure it's bright, make sure it's very wet. Right on the edge. Again, if it starts to dull itself, go back, get yourself another load up on your brush, and then we'll go back and through it again. Get over here, tapping, tapping, tapping. Got a little branch out that side. Tap, 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 down over there, right? Where do you want it to be? Totally up to you guys. You get to decide where they live, what direction they're going, this, that, and the other. Again, all up to you. Let's put a little bit of darkness underneath that branch. Right? It's got to be dark underneath there. Otherwise, it just doesn't look right. And then you're looking at it going, what the heck is that? Boop, boop, boop. Little things. Don't make it too crazy. That's a cool little tree right there. Just a cool little tree. We need one more touch, maybe two more touches of our green that are coming off the back over the edge of some of these little branches. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just has to be there to catch our eye. And we got one way up here. Little guy up there, right? All up to us, guys. How do you want it? All right? How do you see it? You see it a certain way? Do you see it a different way? How do you see it? Too bright over here. And so we'll just darken it down just by going over it some more. We can darken down and let it mix in with that plaque. Almost missed the guy way down here, guys. Bink. Little bits, little things, little action. I like it. Okay. Let's see. We always just make these things up as we go. You know what I mean? It's however we see it, whatever we want to do. Pop a little branch right out in the front. And based on its angle, it's going to look like it's coming directly at us. Let's put our little cad yellow because it's in the light. All right, we'll tap in there. It's coming down. It's not going to the side. It's going this way. Very cool. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this painting. If you grab it during the show, then you get to name it forever. You become the owner, the namer, the everything, right? So you got to go get it, though. You got to be the first one there. If you're not the first one there, then you're never going to grab it, man. Oh, it's so cool. So stinking cool, you guys. Like that tree is going to fall out of the grass and in over onto our beach. That would be neat. That would be neat. Man alive. This one looks really cool, guys. Really cool. Crashers Beyond the Veal. The veal? Isn't that like baby steaks? No? I know it said veal. Man, thank you, Artet. Appreciate you. Bob Ross's grandson for the win. That's funny. That's funny. That tree looks cold. He's got a sweater. He's not cold. He's nice and toasty warm in his sweater. Looks like it's about to fall out towards us, though. It's really cool. Just hanging over the side. I like it. I don't care. I care not. I like that one. Okay, let's get a little bit of our liquid white again because we forgot to throw some of our spray back in here. Don't need to have too much, but a couple little bits back there. A couple little bits into our water area. Very close bang. Right? How do we want it to look? Falling off. Coming down and boom! It's gonna hit. Check this out too. Take those guys away. If you spray too much. Alright, I don't spray too much. Here we go. Sprays it too much and you pay the price. Let's come in here like this. go, just making it how I like it. A little softer. There. There. All right, and that little bit of my kind of watery thing kind of falling in. There. 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 Give it more paint. There we go. There we go. More paint. A little bit of... So soft. Oh, that's cool. That is cool, guys. I like it. I like it. I like that. Man. Okay. Every so often, though, it is possible to get a little bit too much brightness. So we can come back underneath that guy. Take out that bright color that's right there. Maybe add a bit of our blue or something. Here we go. Alright, it's all about making it how we like it. I know I'm going to have my water back there. Nice and straight. Okay, cool. Come over this guy. I keep telling you, the more you do, the more you got to make it brighter and brighter and brighter. So, try not to overdo it, they say. Hey. There we go. I like that. Connect this guy right there. A little bit of color back behind him. And then, we got changed, but it's all good. It's all good. Just extend this guy down a little bit more. And if we can extend him down. There. See? It's all about working it until you're happy with it. And if you're not happy with it, then I don't know what to tell you. You better go get happy about it. You better go get happy. There we go. Climb up the edge. Very cool. Very cool, guys. So, come up with a title for this one. Down there and mix it up just a little. We don't want it to be too overly bright. Too crazy. This one came out really cool, though. There we go. A couple little spritzes. A little spritz and a spray. Like it. Like it. There we go. There, I like that better. I like that better. Now, let's come in and make our little bright spots for our moonlight reflection again. There we go. Just a little bit of brightness rolling over the edge. Okay, guys, come up with a title. I'm going to wash off all these brushes, and then we'll get going and title the painting. It's going to be really fun. There. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to wash off these brushes. You guys come up with a title. Clean up all this stuff. I don't need it anymore. I can't believe this one didn't find a new home. That blows my mind, honestly. I thought somebody would have jumped on this. Honestly. Like, I'm not to sound like a negative Nancy or anything, but I'm definitely not coming back for another show. Because I'm just blasting through supplies here, guys, and not getting anything back from it anyway. And that's not the best business model to run, isn't it? Okay, let's clean up all these brushes, and we'll be all set. I do love that shwettery tree. I like the concept of it coming out of the portal and into the ocean. The grass, everything back there is amazing. Quite literally, boom! Up here for the very last show in my last studio. Man, I just really thought that it was going to go good. I really did. The very last painting in the Paint with Josh studio, and nobody grabbed it. Oh, it hurts my feelings. That's okay. That's okay, though. That is okay. This proves I was right, and I should not have come and done my live today. Should have broke down the whole studio and just got everything ready to go. I wanted to give you guys one more shot at a show. Wasted canvas, right? Okay. Yes. Over there. I got 2 brushes left. Well, 1 left, and then we'll put in the old signature. Then we gotta wash that last brush off. Okay, got this guy over here. Let's take the old bird fam. Let's put him right back here. Just go caw. Flying through the night. Through the night. Here we go. Yes. Okay, cool. But they're gonna fly right out into our scene out here, you guys. Really fabutastic. I love this one. It came out amazing. The idea, I sat and looked at the blank canvas for like 45 minutes today. And I was like, I have to come up with something to paint. What am I gonna paint? And this is it. This was it. Okay. In any case, you guys have all been amazing. Thank you for all your title suggestions and the taps on the screens, the likes, all this stuff. Very much appreciate you guys. Without you to stream to, then I would be streaming to nobody. So thank you for being here and watching and doing all the stuff. Doing all the stuffs, guys. Let's see. So we normally don't turn it into a print unless the original goes. Then it gets turned into a print. But appreciate you guys. I love you. Love yous all. So let me get rid of... we'll end the stream over on Facebook and YouTube, and then we'll finish up over on TikTok. So you guys on Facebook, you've been amazing. YouTube guys, I love you. I can't wait to see your versions. I've been loving the portals with all the big trees that are on the front that you guys have been posting and sending in. They're really gorgeous and amazing. I can't wait to see what you can do with this guy, right? So until I see you guys again next time, it'll be in a brand new studio in our new store. Might be next Monday. Might be the next time you guys see me on Facebook and on YouTube. But until I see you guys then, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And boosh, you guys. Oh, it's fantastic. Just fantastic.